Hey, guess what? Remember when we told you that, General Wesley Clark told us that the idea to invade Afghanistan, to invade Iraq and Syria and Somalia and Yemen, that was all pre-planned. And they just used 9/11 as the reason to do it. Wesley Clark said this. You remember this, right?
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
So go through the countries again?
Well, starting with Iraq, then Syria and Lebanon, then Libya, then Somalia and Sudan, and then back to Iran.
Okay, so guess what? So we did Iraq. We did Afghanistan. Barack Obama did Libya. Barack Obama's doing Syria. Barack Obama's doing Yemen. And guess what? Barack Obama's doing Somalia. That's your Barack Obama. That's your Barack Obama. Libya, Syria, Yemen, and now Somalia. He already had Iraq. He already had Afghanistan. So this is from Democracy Now! It says, with less than 2 months remaining in office, President Obama has quietly moved to expand U.S. military operations in Somalia. Yes, fucking Somalia. That's what it says.
What's your news source
Amy
on that
Goodman,
one?
a little bit of a potty mouth. According to the New York Times, the administration has decided to deem the militant group al-Shabab to be part of the armed conflict that Congress authorized after September 11th. Hold on to your hats. You ready for this? Even though al-Shabab did not exist as an organization at that time. If Trump did something like this, everyone would be screaming World War III. I can't believe they said that at Democracy. If Trump did this shit, if Trump came in and did Libya and then started bombing Syria and ran out of bombs in Syria and then bombed Yemen and then he started bombing fucking Somalia, people would be going, I told you, Trump's crazy. Trump's crazy. But Barack Obama's doing it. They're like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to bomb the poorest countries in the world, which is what we're doing. Yemen, Somalia. Barack Obama is the opposite who you thought. He is George Bush 3.0 in a pretty face. The move will make it easier for the U.S. forces to intensify airstrikes and counterterrorism operations. And by counterterrorism operations, we mean U.S. imperialism disguised as fighting terror. Some of that's my own editorial. Can you tell which? So there you go. Oh, I wish we could have 8 more years of Barack Obama. Maybe we'd have 16 more wars. You know, this is how empires end, by the way. You know that, right? They overextend militarily. And that's what we're doing. We're spending over $1 trillion a year on the military. We have over 1,000 bases across we don't even know how many bases we have. You know why? Because a lot of them are secret. But the closest guess people can give is 1,000 bases. 1,000. So, yeah, that's all happening, and it's happening under Barack Obama. And guess what? No one gives a shit because Barack Obama's doing it. But pretty soon it'll be Donnie Tynahands, and then everyone will all of a sudden give a shit. Watch, mark my words. All of a sudden, everyone's going to give a shit about Donnie Tynahands bombing Somalia or Yemen or wherever else he decides to bomb. Barack Obama did Libya, turned it into a failed state. You know why? Because they wanted to take their oil money and keep it for their people. Barack Obama did that. Barack Obama's doing Syria. Barack Obama. He never got us out of Afghanistan. We're still there. Bush 3.0, baby.
But Jimmy, he received a peace prize.
He got a peace prize. He got a peace prize. Then he immediately ramped up the war in Afghanistan, started bombing Libya, put a hit, Osama bin Laden, sent people back to Iraq, bombed so much in Syria he ran out of bombs, started bombing Yemen, and now we're bombing Somalia. And that's the thing about those peace prizes. Nobody ever tries to win a second one.